Mena, and welcome back, explorers, to my vlog. Also, if you happen to be new here, or are a repeat visitor, be welcome. Be sure to also look at the description below for all credits given. And, with that said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Now, I don't know if I mentioned that I wanted to talk about diabetes in a future vlog or not, but since it's on my mind right now, I'm going to talk about it at the moment. And if there are any corrections that need to be made, please leave a comment down below in the comment section and let me know. But in the meantime, I'm just going to share what I do know about diabetes at the moment, and yes, I am still learning about it. But before I go any further, I need to talk about the different types of diabetes. And, of course, their causes. Type 1 diabetes is actually childhood onset. In other words, that is when diabetes occurs in a child or a child is born with diabetes. Now, this usually happens to children who are parts of a family that has a family history of diabetes. Whereas type 2 diabetes is adult onset. And unlike type 1, type 2 diabetes can affect anyone with a family history of diabetes or not. And of course, there is another type of diabetes, which is called gestational diabetes. And this usually affects mothers. And what I mean by that is when a mother is pregnant, uh, it's one of those things where if a mother is pregnant, they can wind up with diabetes because of the pregnancy. Now, that would also lead into type 2 diabetes. However, I bet a lot of people did not know about that. Now, there are a number of ways to kind of work with it. First of which is managing first of all, the first one is managing the diabetes with your food. What that means is you need to eat less carbohydrates, which are found in things like pasta, in breads, and the likes of that. So what you'd want to do is eat more vegetables and more meat. Mostly meat, but the vegetables you eat have to be carefully picked because some of them can raise something called blood sugars. Now, failing managing your blood sugars with food, there's medicines that you can either ingest or you get injections for. But yeah, I was talking about food first. So here's the thing. Usually, things like meat and vegetables are a lot more expensive than pasta. So there's a lot of people who eat pastas and breads and things with starches because they are cheap and accessible. Whereas meats and vegetables, for the most part, are the more expensive choice, especially if you get the fresher vegetables, which ultimately are healthier for you. So if you don't really have money, it's really hard if you're also diabetic. Now that I've talked a lot about the food, there's also the medicine. Now, there are medicines you take by mouth that I know of, and there are medicines that get injected in you. One is actually considered, well, one is actually called an insulin. It's because your body itself is not producing the insulin it should. And yes, there are times that you do have to eat sweets in order to raise the blood sugars if they're really way down there. And you could have, I forget what it is, but whatever that is, please let me know what it is in the comments below. But I found out that more recent medication, which is called Juicity, I think, is, well, it's a couple thousand of dollars for just a month's supply, which is an injection a week. So the way I look at it is this: being diabetic is not necessarily conducive to living your life, especially when, in order to get the medicines, you have to work to a point that ultimately is going to possibly not be very healthy. So, doctors want you to be healthy, and yet they make it medicines with outrageous prices, and they expect people to pay, pay prices for foods that they can't even afford. And yes, I'm talking about people who do not have the money to do that. However, there are people who can live life perfectly fine and pay for everything that they're supposed to pay for. So, I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, the main important, the, the main things that I want people to take away from this is the fact that there's the two main types of diabetes. There's the medicine, and yes, the medicine does cost a lot, but you can possibly manage your blood sugars with food. depending on how much you eat, how many times you eat, uh, what you eat, and, well, portions. Obviously, portions. So, as I said, lowering the amount of carbohydrates is a good thing. Um, you can counteract that with certain vegetables and meat, but be aware you don't have to eliminate it all. Just lessen certain ones. Either way, I think I have talked your ears long enough, but before I bring this episode to a close, next week I will be talking about an anime called Kiss Him, Not Me. And yes, my niece really desperately wants me to watch that. So I better watch it and give my review on it. It doesn't really sound like something I'd be interested in, but I'm gonna go ahead and watch it and let you know what I think. Besides, that's gonna be a little bit more uplifting than today's vlog. Either way, as I said before, I think I've talked your ears off long enough, so I'm going to end this episode here and leave you all with this. If you have been enjoying my if you have been enjoying my content, please give a like and or subscribe. You can also leave a comment down below in the comment section, and please do, because if you know anything at all about diabetes, please let me know where I goofed up. Be sure to hit that notification bell because YouTube doesn't always like to share. Be safe, be healthy, and as always, be true to you. Amena, signing out.